Chrissy Teigen and John Legend are pregnant again. The last few years have been a blur of emotions to say the least, but joy has filled our home and hearts again. The cookbook author Chrissy Teigen wrote in her Instagram caption just recently with a picture of her wearing a black t-shirt and black sheer underwear showing off her baby bump. The Instagram post about Teigen's blur of emotions has likely been seen as a reference to the heartbreaking loss they experienced in October 2020. Can't get enough news or gossip about Chrissy Teigen and John Legend? Then you've come to the right YouTube channel, Plenty of Pop Fans. We've scoured Facebook groups, Twitter feeds, Reddit, Discord, and even Telegram boards to get you the most up-to-date info on your favorite celebrity or juicy Hollywood gossip. If you have a tip, story, or even correction on our intel, comment below and we'll be sure to follow it up. Let's dive right into what Chrissy and John Legend are up to now. Chrissy Teigen and John Legend are expecting their rainbow baby after suffering a tragic pregnancy loss nearly 2 years ago. Just this Wednesday, August 3, 2022, Chrissy Teigen announced that she and husband John Legend are expecting a baby. Cookbook author Chrissy Teigen, 36, posted an Instagram photo announcing that she is pregnant. The photos showed the cookbook author in a sheer outfit, with her baby bump visible beneath. Teigen started out with a caption that said, "The last few years have been a blur of emotions to say the least, but joy has filled our home and hearts again." 1 billion shots later, in the leg lately, as you can see, we have another on the way. Every appointment I've said to myself, okay, if it's healthy today, I'll announce. But then I breathe a sigh of relief to hear a heartbeat. I'm just too nervous still. Chrissy Teigen, who revealed months ago she underwent IVF, is pregnant again. With the emotional loss of her and Legend's third child Jack in October 2020, Sports Illustrated swimsuit model Chrissy Teigen still feels hesitation, but explained how she is pushing through those emotions. "I don't think I'll ever walk out of an appointment with more excitement than nerves. But so far, everything is perfect and beautiful, and I'm feeling hopeful and amazing." She wrote, "Okay, phew, it's been very hard keeping this in for so long." Since Teigen was pregnant with a baby boy in 2020, while she was hosting Lip Sync Battle, she had to be hospitalized and receive blood transfusions after experiencing excessive bleeding. In an emotional post on Instagram, Teigen later announced, "We were shocked and in the kind of deep pain you only hear about. The kind of pain we have never felt before. We didn't stop the bleeding and gave our baby the fluids he needed. Despite bags and bags of blood transfusions, it just wasn't enough." "Jack worked so hard to be a part of our little family, and he will be forever." She added, "To our Jack, I'm so sorry that the first few moments of your life were met with so many complications, that we couldn't give you the home you needed to survive. We will always love you." Chrissy Teigen shared this photo of Legend, comforting her during one of her time in the hospital while having recently lost her pregnancy. A few weeks after Chrissy Teigen made her harrowing stillbirth public in candid social media posts, the model and author has shared an intimate testimony about her experience. Chrissy wrote about her decision to have photos taken from her hospital bed during the event and what it meant to her. In an essay for a publication, Teigen described a traumatic delivery she and her husband, music artist John Legend, had when their third child was just halfway through the pregnancy. After being admitted to the hospital repeatedly with persistent bleeding and multiple blood transfusions and diagnosed with partial placenta abruption, she was induced and delivered their infant son, Jack. "I had already come to terms with what would happen. I would have an epidural and be induced to deliver our 20-week-old, a boy that would never survive in my belly. Please excuse these simple terms." Teigen wrote, "I was previously on bed rest for over a month, just trying to get the little dude to 28 weeks, a safer zone for the fetus." The couple began to bleed a week later. They had monitored the bleeding for days, and it began to get worse. Teigen wrote, "My bleeding was getting heavier and heavier. The fluid around Jack had become very low. He was barely able to float around. At some points, I swore it was so low I could lay on my back and feel his arms and legs from outside my belly, highlighting what an emotional time the birth of the couple's child would be for them. After a couple nights at the hospital, my doctor told me exactly what I knew was coming. It was time to say goodbye. He just wouldn't survive this, and if it went on any longer, I might not either. We had tried bags and bags of blood transfusions, every single one going right through me like we hadn't done anything at all. I was told it would be time to let go in the morning. I cried a little at first, then went into full-blown convulsions of snot and tears. My breath not able to catch up with my own incredibly deep sadness. Even as I write this now, I can feel the pain all over again. Oxygen was placed over my nose and mouth, and that was the first picture you saw. Utter and complete sadness. Teigen described that she requested Legend and her mother take photos as the delivery took place, no matter how unpleasant it was. The baby did not survive, and Legend went on to describe this in a blog post that talked foremost about the grief of their loss, but also the scary experience their birthing process shared in common with so many other women. I explained to a very hesitant John that I needed them, and that I did not want to have to ever ask, that he just had to do it. He hated it, I could tell. It didn't make sense to him at the time, but I knew I needed to know of this moment forever. The same way I needed to remember us kissing at the end of the aisle. The same way I needed to remember our tears of joy after giving birth to their 2 children, Luna and Miles. And I absolutely knew I needed to share this story. Teigen sharing her personal experience of stillbirth was praised by many who might see it as a way to make it more common for women to discuss, but nevertheless is often incredibly distressing. Chrissy, in a blog post, refuted critics who told her she shouldn't have shared the intimate photos of the delivery. I cannot express how little I care that you hate the photos. You who wouldn't have done this and would never want to do anything like this, she said. I lived it. I chose to do it. And more than anything, these photos aren't for anyone but the people who have lived this or are curious enough to wonder what something like this is like. These photos are only for the people who need them. The thoughts of others do not matter to me. The nurse described what it was like to have an epidural. I would always joke about how much I loved the epidural. Not so much this one. Then she described the delivery, but using less detail than the paragraph did. The doctors yelled for a bit, and I don't know what to say even now. He was out. My mom, John, and I each held him and said our own private goodbyes. Mom sobbing through thigh prayer. She wrote, I don't know how long he had been waiting for you to be delivered. Those will always haunt me. It was just writing it that makes my nose and eyes tingle with tears. I now know his ashes are in a small box, waiting to be put into the soil of a tree in our new home, the one we got with his room in mind. Chrissy Teigen thanked those who shared their personal experience of pregnancy loss, saying, the moments of kindness have been nothing short of beautiful. I went to a store where the checkout lady quietly added flowers to my cart. Sometimes people will approach me with a note. The worst part is knowing there are so many women that won't get these quiet moments of joy from strangers. I beg you to please share your stories, and to please be kind to those pouring their hearts out. Be kind in general, as some won't pour them out at all, she wrote. Several people in the general public, as well as other high-profile entertainers, have responded positively to Teigen's openness on social media channels. Thank you for this, your transparency and all the healing you've inspired. We shouldn't have to suffer in silence, and everyone who truly understands is incredibly grateful for this and you, always. Well-known celebrities such as Busy Phillips, Yvonne Strahovski, Ellen DeGeneres, and America Ferrera expressed their support for Chrissy Teigen's family on Instagram. In addition to the negative press she received from losing her son Jack and from being accused of cyberbullying Kourtney Stodden and others in tweets, Kourtney Kardashian went public with her decision to stop drinking alcohol after going sober last year. She also mentioned in one Instagram post on November 16 that I drank to end crazy anxiety that later mostly went away when I, get this, Quit drinking. Sigh. Anyhow, I feel really good. It was almost 1 year ago that Chrissy Teigen was sober. Not a drop of alcohol in 365 days, Chrissy captioned in an Instagram post. It has been 1 year since Chrissy Teigen decided to stop drinking alcohol, and the model took to Instagram to celebrate the accomplishment. In her post, Chrissy Teigen wrote about how she loved drinking in the past because it made her feel carefree and loopy, but eventually, it was draining so much of her energy that she stopped altogether. She then shared a montage of videos from a vacation with family members, John Legend and their children Luna and Miles, that showed they found happiness without booze. I finally quit drinking. I'm feeling really good, wrote Teigen. Sometimes I get frustrated looking back on days when I drank too much and was not aware of my surroundings, she said. Like when I attended an Outback Steakhouse chef class with friends, but blacked out halfway through. It would have been so cool if I could have only remembered the party when we walked into the restaurant for appetizers. It feels like there are a lot of award show snafus that go by without me remembering them. There are pictures from big moments in life where my eyes look gone. Some are from work shoots, some just selfies with family. While I honestly still don't know if I will never have another drink again, I do know that I never want to be that way again. And for now, none is the best. I'll let the bad dreams come up and try to sort them out in therapy without a drink. Her relationship with alcohol was examined in detail by Cosmopolitan in 2017, revealing that it had a negative effect on her social life as well. I got used to being in hair and makeup and having a drink, she stated after disclosing that she was taking a break from drinking. And then that glass of wine would carry over into me having one before the awards show. And then a bunch at the awards show. And then I felt bad for making kind of an A of myself to people that I really respected. And that feeling, there's just nothing like that. You feel horrible. It's not a good look for me, for John, for anybody. Teigen announced she was going through in vitro fertilization to try and get pregnant again. A wish shared by her husband, John Legend, 43. The couple has 6-year-old daughter Luna together and 4-year-old son Miles. I wanted to let you guys know I'm balls deep in another IVF cycle to save as many egos as I possibly can and hopefully make some strong, healthy embryos. Teigen shared on Instagram in February 2022. She added, I honestly don't mind the shots. They make me feel like a doctor or chemist. But the bloating is a big, so I humbly beg you to stop asking if I'm pregnant, because while I know it's said with excited, good intentions, it just kind of sucks to hear because I am the opposite of pregnant, she explained, while taking the opportunity to remind her followers she appreciates their support. The Cravings author also wanted social media users to stop asking women if they're pregnant in general. Asking someone whether they're pregnant can cause them embarrassment and stress, so she would rather share this information with her followers, as opposed to another woman who may be experiencing sadness and fear of judgment. I love you, she added. In March of 2022, Teigen continued to keep everyone updated on her progress with IVF by revealing it in an interview with Entertainment Tonight. She said, I feel so much healthier and so much better with that. Chrissy Teigen and her husband John Legend gave birth to their daughter Luna in 2018 and son Miles in 2019. In 2020, the couple announced their third pregnancy with the singer in his music video for the song Wild, showing off her growing belly. However, Chrissy sadly miscarried her baby boy Jack only a few weeks later. She was about halfway through the pregnancy at the time. We're so sorry that our baby had such a tough start. We'll love you and will always be here for you. As soon as she tapped out those words, Chrissy received an outpouring of support from friends, family members, and complete strangers who were sending her positive energy, thoughts, and prayers during this difficult time. Going back to Chrissy Teigen's announcement, Teigen showed off her baby bump while wearing sheer Gucci high-waisted underwear worth $520. The very delicate luxury underwear showcased her growing midsection as she revealed a large bruise on her left thigh from performing in vitro fertilization. That's it for this video, plenty of pop fan. Remember to subscribe to our channel for all the latest celebrity news and gossip. It's like candy you can't stop eating. We'll cover what celebrities are wearing, who is dating who, and not dating anymore. It's hard to keep up with the recent happening in their lives. We'll satisfy your gossip fix daily. Comment below if there's a celebrity in particular you want us to cover or a juicy news tip you'd like to share.